I got a new subject I want to touch on. It's partial touch-up, partial rant, try to understand what I've been seeing a lot of lately. And it prefers to oversize haulers, which I do a lot of oversized loads, mainly on step deck. I have done RGNs, stretchable RGNs, multi-axle RGNs. What I've been seeing a lot here lately, it kind of, I call Clueless drivers. A lot of new companies, or old companies, bigger companies are going open deck, flatbed, but that's all right. That's not a problem. But when you step into oversize, that's a whole new ball game we're taking on here. We're talking a ball game that has more rules, regulations, things you have to go by, permits. Lately I've been seeing a lot of this drivers not looking at permits, drivers not reading their permits, because you can always tell, especially in a lot of these states that have speed restrictions. Places like Ohio, Indiana, 55 miles an hour. Especially Ohio, all loads 55 mile an hour permitted regardless. And they'll be just flying down the road like normal, especially here lately. A lot have been rail drivers. And then you look at what they're hauling. They're hauling, yesterday, day before, rail driver, RGN, hauling a John Deere combine. Normally, John Deere would not allow that. I don't know why people are brokering these loads out, and John Deere's going into this. The guy's flying down the highway just as fast as he can get that truck to go, down across Ohio, Indiana, and did not even have that thing secured properly. I mean, the chains weren't where they were supposed to be. The way he had it was damaging, and then he didn't have enough on it. And it's irritating, because it makes the rest of us look bad who actually go in here and do this. Because I can remember when John Deere only allowed certain companies to come in with certain drivers of certain experience, because we're talking some of this equipment's multi-million-dollar equipment. The last thing they want is that tore up. And if you didn't know how to do it, and some of the locations actually have a book that you can look into, and it shows you how to secure the load. These drivers, this may stir up some stuff along people, the new driver's got to start somewhere. I agree, you got to start. But it starts with the company. The company should not start a driver who's never pulled an oversized load on a 10, 12-foot wide load. Back whenever I used to do oversized mobile homes, I've done a number of them, started out small and just worked my way up. Even when I was at ATS and they went to machinery, they did not allow the drivers to start off on a wide load. You had to start off on something that was only a couple inches over, and then you had to haul like 5 of those. Then you stepped up to the next one, which would go you to like a foot over, and so on and so forth, to build up your experience and sometimes even test you. I ran into a driver coming to a John Deere plant while I was sitting there, and he was looking at his load, just staring at it. Couldn't figure out what he was going to do, and I walked over and asked him, "You ever tied one down?" And he's like, "No, I haven't." And I hadn't have a dozer on. He had a dozer and a skid steer. And I pointed over there. I said, "That's how you best way to do it over here." Showed him. And he didn't even know how to use the chains. He never used chains and binders, just straps. These companies need to be held responsible for that, because you're sending a driver out to a load to pull, and they don't even know how to use a chain and binder. They know how to do strap. General, commodities, general product, where they only do that. I've seen one driver just use straps only on 2 or 3 farm tractors. That won't work. He had 2 or 3 of them just on the back hitch. That back hitch will cut them straps in half. That'll be it. That'll be the end of it. And the first thing DOT sees that, they're going to shut his ass down. But then again, the driver is also at fault for that one, for not letting his company know he's not ready. He doesn't feel ready. He's not experienced. He's not done it. A little bit of training would be nice. And the driver, you get to this place, if you don't know how to load it, don't wing it. Get your ass out there, ask somebody, whether it be the person loading it, somebody in the office, or you see a fellow driver, walk over there and ask. I don't know, every day that I go into a John Deere plant and I pick machines up, there's always at least one guy I don't know. He'll either walk up to me or I'll walk over there and ask him, hey, you having problems? Use a little helping hand on the best way how to do this? Don't bother me at all. I'll do it every time. I do it quite often. I mean, like I said, 28 going on 29 years of this, I've got a pretty good idea. 10, 12 years of flatbedding. Machinery is mostly all I do now. But yeah, it's they're just putting anybody behind the wheel doing these oversized loads, and that's not good, because some of this stuff gets big, some of this gets heavy, and they're putting somebody who don't know what they're doing on it. It's not just a danger to them, it's a danger to everybody around. What happens if they don't have that thing secured, it comes undone, somebody else is going to get hurt. I'm looking at this from a safety it's just not about the driver, the company, it's everybody. People need to kind of step in. If you're a driver, you don't know how to do it, tell your company, hey, I don't know how to do this. And to tell them to send you on a load that's 12 feet wide, 14 feet tall, and they don't read their permits, their routings, they don't know how, they don't even know how to use a chain and binder, that scares the hell out of me. How can you send somebody to do a load that general freight load, you kind of get over there, strapping, it's one thing. But chaining equipment, chaining machinery, oversizing it, they're not even getting their flags put on. They're not putting it on the outmost parts of the loads. Nothing. It's because they don't know. They're just sending a rail. Is bad about this. They're sending drivers that don't know shit. And you just look at them and you're like, oh, hell no. What the hell? Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of it, and I don't understand what these companies and drivers are thinking. I really don't, and it really, like I said, it worries me. Like I said, we need to get things together.